Welcome back, my dear student. In this lecture here, we're going to create a functionality that is going to go, that is going to take, it's going to go inside our table, products. It's going to check to see if the product quantity is equal to the product quantity that we have on the session outside here in the front end of the website. And if it's equal to that, it's not going to increment. We don't want the customer to be incrementing more of what we got inside our shopping cart, inside our table products. All right. So remember that product underscore quantity. All right. That's going to be like the limit of how much product they can add in the shopping cart. So if we put 5, we don't want the incrementing code here to go over 5 because we don't have any more, right? So that's what we want to build here in this lecture here. So let's just right here, what we want to do is we want to create a query, right? We're going to use a query function that we created as a custom one. All right, and we're going to say select from products. All right, where what? Product ID, correct. If you got this right, very good. You're paying attention. Right, and make sure that you write everything down. You want to get this as much as possible, get as much practice as possible. We're gonna use a function that we created, of course, escape string, to clean this up before we take it in this database. We're gonna put the get request in here, and that's it. All right, because the get request is gonna have the ID of the product, right? Beautiful. And then we're gonna use the other function that we have. Oops. Right there, called confirm, to make sure that this query goes through. All right, beautiful, right? Those functions make it really easy for us to do a lot of things. I'm gonna refresh here real quick. I'm gonna click here and we have query failed unknown product ID. You see that? That's why it's good to put that confirmed in there. All right, and I'll tell you why that is in a minute. As you see right here, we have product ID, but we don't have the equal right there. Right? That's the whole problem. We refresh now, we don't have that problem. Beautiful, right? Good demonstration. All right. So now that we don't have any mistakes and everything is going according to plan, what we need to do is pull out the information from our table. And we're going to do that by using the fetch array function that we created, that is returning the MySQLi fetch array. And I'm just explaining this a little bit to you, but I'm not always going to be repeating myself over and over again. I hope you already understand that we have a lot of helper functions that are returning MySQLi functions, just because we want to make this application as generic as possible. In other words, we want to plug in all the databases and use them with our application instead of coming back to every line and changing that MySQLi just because we went to another database, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and fetch to the query. Oops. And now inside here, we are going to be writing a couple conditions, right? So let's write an if statement here. And we're going to say if the row that this is the column, right? Row quantity. Oops. All right. If this row quantity is not equal to the what? Session, and then we'll say product. Remember, the session is available all over. We got to concatenate it here with the get. All right, if it's not equal to this, what are we going to do? Well, if it's not equal, we're good, right? We can just increment it. So let's grab all this and we'll say let's increment it to 1. Beautiful. There's nothing else, right? And then if for some reason it goes beyond, they try to keep going, right? adding stuff and we don't have it, we can set a message with a session here and say, you know what, we only have half, and we can even concatenate here what we have inside the database. So we can say, we can pull out some other information. We only have row product quantity. I could have just wrote the whole thing. We only have, let's say, 5 available. Let's concatenate a space. All right. We only have available. We only have 5 available or something like that. There we go. Available. All right. We could do that. We only have 5 available. All right. Beautiful. And we can redirect them back to checkout. .php. All right. I think that will be very nice. So how are we going to test this? Well, on the next lecture, we're going to be testing this and making sure that it works. All right. And if it doesn't work, we'll fix it. But anyway, copy it. Make sure that you write the code down. All right. Very important that you write it down. I already know this stuff. And I'll see you in the next lecture. Take care and keep it up.